Welcome to season 2 of the Tea Huddle with Marisa and Kelly.
Your only source for gridiron gossip.
If you've been missing the gossip during the offseason
or missing our hot takes on the NFL, then you're in the right place.
Welcome back, Kelly. I am so excited to be here back in our Tea Huddle for season 2.
Football season is right upon us.
I can't believe it's back.
I hope everyone had a nice summer, but we are excited to be back.
We are.
Ready
I can
for this.
feel the crisp chill in the air. It means it's time.
It's the chili is coming. Chili and chicken wings.
I can smell the wings. So much has happened this off season. I can't wait to recap. We're going to get into all of it, all the arrests, all the marriages, all the on-field, off-field drama. Kelly, what were your favorite off-season moments?
I think my favorite off-season moment has to be the Tom Brady roast. I mean, how can it not be?
I liked that a lot too.
Mostly just like seeing all my favorite Patriots back together. Even got to see Kraft and Belichick take a shot on stage. That was a little awkward, but I'm here for it.
Right before the roast, in preparation, I watched Dynasty on Apple TV, I think it was. It was a 10-part series about the Patriots Dynasty, which you were obviously familiar with. This was like, it's like I was watching a movie for the first time. I had no idea. They were like, and then everyone knows how that Super Bowl ended. I'm like, how does that Super Bowl end? I have no idea. But you learn about like how Tom Brady came to be the good, the bad, everywhere in between, how Tom Brady came to be, what his dynamic was like with Belichick, what Belichick's dynamic was like with Robert Kraft, and then to see them all the Randy Moss jokes. I wouldn't have had any idea who that man was. Or all the
legends,
Drew Bledsoe jokes. I was like, I know what's happening. I get it.
It was good timing to have the dynasty. Yeah, but it really didn't paint Belichick in a great light.
It sure did not.
Things were awkward when they got up on stage, the two of them. Very.
And then who seemed even less pleased with all of this than Belichick was Giselle. I think this was her least favorite off-season moment. A source told People Magazine, which is like, I'm pretty sure somebody from her camp, if they were going to post this exclusive, said, a source told People Magazine that Giselle was, quote, deeply disappointed by the disrespectful portrayal of her family on Sunday evening's roast show. As always, her priority is to support her children who were affected by the irresponsible content that was broadcasted.
There just wasn't enough content to roast the GOAT. They had to mention Giselle. I don't know what to say.
I thought they were very respectful of his kids. I didn't think there was anything like super outrageous. There were no jokes about him kissing his children on the mouth, which I was expecting.
I heard that was
there to be
on the prohibited list.
That makes sense. I think her reaction seems a little disproportionate. If somebody who's recently divorced from a supermodel mother of their children, if somebody's agreeing to be roasted and they have that, like, it's going to be used against them.
Yeah.
Then
with the package.
Yeah, exactly. She didn't like it one bit. And he doesn't have to care because they are not married.
Yeah, he
anymore.
Apologized. And, it's over now. I still enjoyed it.
No, it was great.
Sorry, Giselle.
It was nice seeing them all together. We're going to talk about Bill Belichick's offseason a little bit more.
Oh, yeah. We learned some things
later
during
on
the roast. At least I learned some things. And
yeah,
we'll be discussing.
Definitely. So if that was your favorite off-season moment, do you have a least favorite off-season moment?
My least favorite off-season moment is an easy one. Joe Burrow's haircut. What's up with that?
I don't hate it.
No?
I feel like he can pull off anything. He's just such a handsome man.
The bleach blonde. Oh, he had such like nice flow before.
He did. He's in his Slim Shady era.
Yeah, not into it.
No. My favorite off-season moment, Kelly, I don't know if you watched Love Island US at all this summer. Well, it was the cultural moment of the summer. We all needed something to watch when we weren't watching football, And the winner, sorry, spoiler alert, the winner of the whole show was Odell Beckham Jr.'s little brother. He won the show. He was a star. He stole all of our hearts, and he won. So he talked in like the 4th or 5th episode, not immediately, about how his brother was Odell Beckham Jr. And it was almost like, is that true?
It's like Jordan on The Bachelor.
Exactly. Yes. Except they are still friends. They're not enemies like Jordan and
Odell
Aaron.
And Cordell. They better be friends for life.
And there was one episode where some couples had family zoom in, and Odell Beckham Jr. zoomed in to chat with Cordell and his girlfriend Serena. Great couple. And he said that it's all anybody wants to talk to him about. He said he was at Michael Rubin's white party with like Tom Brady and all these like big hotshot athletes and Kardashians and whoever else, and that the only thing anybody wants to talk to him about is his little brother Cordell on Love Island. It was cute. It was cute that Cordell wasn't really using the fact that he's Odell Beckham Jr.'s brother a lot. It just came up a couple times.
He just wanted to introduce his girlfriend.
Yeah. So love you, Cordell. Love you, Odell.
Maybe Odell will be on the next season.
Oh, that would be a gift.
But there were some other noteworthy items that happened this off season, some more recent than others. One that we have to discuss is Aaron Rodgers.
He's been in the headlines for sure.
Always entertaining us in the off season. But he came up this year because he missed mandatory minicamp for their first minicamp back in June, I think it was. Coach Saleh said his absence was unexcused, but he had an event that was very important to him, which was communicated. It came out later that this very important event, people thought maybe it was like some political event.
Or like a personal emergency.
Yeah. Turns out he was at an ayahuasca retreat. Much more important than going to minicamp, like trying to unite your team. You didn't play at all last year.
That's the thing, is that like if this was a well-oiled machine and you guys were in lockstep with each other and like this is going to help you were not part of the team last year. You didn't play with them. You guys could probably also they didn't do well. Like your team could benefit from the leader and quarterback
like camaraderie
being there.
But some things are more important.
Yeah. He's just like Aaron Rodgers is going to Aaron Rodgers. Like
he's going to do what he wants.
He's going to I don't even know if quirky is the word, but he's going to go to the beat of his own drummer.
And the Jets just got to be ready for whatever comes. Hopefully it's not the same outcome for this.
Yeah. We all remember that last year there was so much buildup. Aaron Rodgers.
Coming off Hard Knocks.
This was my introduction to football in general, was watching Hard Knocks. I was like, wait, are people excited? Like he was a Super Bowl champ, right? Did he win the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
He was a Super Bowl champ. He's coming to this like team that needs help. He's there to rally them and teach them. And like the first 10 minutes of the whole
brutal
game, of the whole season rather, he tears his Achilles. He tears his Achilles and doesn't play another snap for the whole season. And what will this season bring? I can't wait to find out.
Hopefully this ayahuasca retreat will help his ankles.
Yeah, definitely make him of strong body and mind.
And then for some more recent noteworthy news, as a reminder from our draft episode, Kirk Cousins.
We love Kirk.
He left the Vikings to go to the Falcons. So that was big news in the early offseason. As part of his free agency. The Vikings then went on to draft J.J. McCarthy in the first round.
Like a super stud rookie that everybody wanted. And he was going to be like one of the first guys.
Yeah, he was their guy. They were really excited for him. Turns out last week during the Viking preseason opener against the Raiders, J.J. McCarthy suffered a right meniscus tear and is out for the entire season.
It's obviously not funny. I'm sorry for laughing, JJ McCarthy. I wish you well. I hope you heal quickly. But the reason so it sounds like the Vikings said to Kirk Cousins, who at 35 or 36, however old he is like so old to be a quarterback. They were like, just so you know, we're going to draft like a new young guy. And he left. He went to the Falcons. And then they ended up drafting a new young guy.
Yeah, that was surprising.
And then the new young guy that the Vikings drafted is out for the whole season. And they're like scraping the bottom of the barrel to figure out who's going to play for them.
And I'm sure Kirk kind of wishes he stayed. He could be playing. Now he's going to be competing against Michael Penix for another great player. So
yeah, Kirk is wishing that Michael Penix's meniscus isn't in great shape. Just kidding. Kirk would never do that. He's like the nicest.
He's a family man.
Yeah, he's a
team player.
Yeah. But it does seem like perhaps he sprinkled a little voodoo on the Vikings, something like that.
Could have.
And it's a record or something, right? It's that JJ McCarthy's the first, like this has never happened before.
Yeah, he's the first rookie quarterback since the draft ever began who was selected in the first round and is missing his entire rookie season because of an injury.
Wow.
So bad luck to start off
Yeah.
for the Vikings. They do have Sam Darnold. He was traded to the Vikings in the offseason as well. And they also just drafted Matt Corral as the backup, who wasn't even playing at the NFL when he was picked up. Was playing for the UFL.
Oh.
And if that name sounds familiar to you,
it does to me.
We talked about him last year because Matt Corral was a backup on the Patriots and went missing last year.
This was when I was like, I have no idea what's going on. I have no idea what anybody except the quarterback does. But I know that it's interesting that this man went missing. He left Patriots practice and nobody heard from him for 2 days. He didn't show up. He didn't call. We still don't know what happened. It's been a full calendar year. We have no idea what happened, but he's back employed by the NFL, and
hopefully he sticks around for the Vikings' sake.
They can find him. If not, they're going looking for yet another replacement for Kirk. It's got to be nice. It's like when you break up with somebody and like they end up doing really poorly. They're like, they lose their job and get evicted, and you're like, things were going a lot better when I was around.
Yeah.
I bet Kirk feels a little bit of that.
I'm sure he like kind of wishes he was still there. I mean, he knows all the players and the coaches.
But now he's down in ATL.
Yeah.
He's a Falcon now. It was just Kirk's birthday. Did you see this earlier this week? And he got to be the DJ for practice.
Oh, no. What did he play?
And
like Baby Shark?
The Falcons, but that's really funny. The Falcons posted his birthday playlist. There's not a single song that is more recent than 2003. It's like Jimmy Eat World and The Killers, Good Charlotte.
Honestly, I love that.
And me too. It's like the Falcons players are probably like, is his birthday over yet?
He stays true to himself.
Yeah, I don't think there was a single song on his birthday playlist more recent than Gym Class Heroes. You remember that? What was that song called? Cupid's Chokehold. In classic dad fashion.
His little like iPod.
His Nano.
Nano,
yeah. We can't wait to see what Kirk does on the Falcons, or if he just has to watch the new guy on the Falcons and what happens to
the Vikings
and everybody else in between.
Yeah, good luck out there.
Will they play each other, the Vikings and the Falcons? Like, are they in the same division, conference, whatever it is?
Yes, they will play each other in December.
Okay.
So we have some time. We'll see who's the quarterback for each team then.
I'm excited for December. I can't wait.
Hopefully it's Kirk taking on his old team.
Yeah.
Well, wouldn't be an NFL offseason without some of these guys getting into some trouble.
It is time to step out of the car. Everybody, step out of the car.
I think we should kick it off with the MVP of this segment, or what's the opposite of an MVP? The LVP? Least valuable player?
Definitely.
Because this guy has been working overtime to get arrested more than anyone in the NFL, and that says a lot.
It really does. There have been 11 arrests since the Super Bowl last season, and 4 of them were Isaiah bugs.
Isaiah Buggs is a defensive tackle, formerly of the Chiefs. Before that, he was on the Lions for 2 seasons, and originally he was drafted by the Steelers back in 2019. Let's see what this guy's done.
Horrified that he was a Lion because Isaiah Buggs, you're the worst. So let's take a little trip through time through Isaiah Buggs' offseason. First, in April, he was arrested in Alabama. So he went to University of Alabama. That's where he played football. And he was arrested in Alabama in April for pointing a gun at a woman outside of a hookah lounge that he owns in Tuscaloosa. We're going to talk about this hookah lounge again. So remember that.
A lot happens, the hookah lounge.
Yeah. So that was first in April. Then the second arrest, also in April. He was being served with the menacing warrant from arrest number 1. And he reached into his pocket for a gun, or he reached into his pocket and they saw a gun. Either way, there was a reach, there was a gun. It resulted in an assault charge and arrest number 2 for Isaiah Buggs.
Put the gun away.
Yeah, leave the gun. Then number 3 arrest comes at the end of May. He was arrested yet again, this time for animal cruelty. 2 dogs were found left tied up at a home that he had been renting. They were emaciated. They had no access to food or water. It was so bad that one of the 2 dogs had to be euthanized.
So messed up.
Apparently, he had moved out of the home 10 days prior because he owed the landlord money and left the dogs there tied up outside. His agent said that these were not his animals. He didn't know they were there, and that this was all part of a, quote, subversive campaign to force the close of his local business, King's Hookah Lounge. He thinks the town of Tuscaloosa is out to get him to close his hookah lounge, that they're tying up emaciated dogs outside of his residence, that he's owing the landlord money. Also, I read that earlier in the summer or in the spring, cops were called to his hookah lounge because patrons were parking at other people's businesses, and that when the cops came, they counted 283 people in the hookah lounge, which their legal capacity was 83.
Wow.
So it was more than 3 times the legal capacity.
This hookah lounge is causing a lot of problems.
Definitely. So he had a bond set for the animal cruelty arrest. Then, as if this wasn't all bad enough, in June, Isaiah Buggs cements his spot in bold and underlined on the T-Huddle's list of enemies when he was arrested on felony charges of second-degree domestic assault and second-degree burglary. Allegedly, he broke into his ex-girlfriend's apartment in Alabama with a tire iron and dragged her down the stairs.
It's horrifying.
Terrible. The victim had scratch marks on her and broken toenails. When the cops found him parked outside of a Little Caesars, he said he didn't know anything about the burglary, but a witness provided police with a video of him at the apartment that night.
So he doesn't know anything about the animals, doesn't know anything about the burglary.
Right. It's just, everyone's just mad at my hookah lounge. I'm innocent. Get out of here, Isaiah Buggs. So his bail from the animal cruelty charge at arrest number 3 was now revoked, and he was sentenced to serve 60 days. He cannot be around firearms. He cannot own dogs or cats. And that's where Isaiah Buggs stands currently.
Yeah, he was also released from the Chiefs. So
Thank goodness.
They took action.
Because some players have off seasons like this. Rashee Rice, for example,
is an update from the league on
what's going on there. But it sounds like 4 arrests in the span of a couple months, including abusing animals and humans both. You should probably not be paid millions of dollars to play professional football.
Yeah, definitely worth being released on. And
yeah. So bye, Isaiah Buggs. We hate you. You're trash. Get out of our faces.
We will not be watching you play football.
No. Next up, we have rookie Michael Hall Jr. He was just drafted by the Cleveland Browns in the second round of this year's draft a few months later, before he has played a single snap in the NFL. He is already on our list after being arrested for domestic assault. We don't even want to give this man the time on the pod. It's a pretty harrowing story of assaulting his fiance and their very young child. Of course, the Browns haven't done anything meaningful yet. They said they're aware of the incident and have no further comment. And hopefully we never hear from Mike Hall Jr. ever again.
Unless it's a suspension.
Yes, that we'll listen up for. I think Mike Hall Jr. is the first person on our list who has never actually played a game in the NFL.
And I hope he doesn't get to.
Yeah, exactly. For any new listeners, we keep a list. You make it onto the list if you are a piece of shit, if you harm a woman, a child,
a dog,
you sexually assault, etc. These hateful, disgusting, terrible things that unfortunately NFL players seem to have a habit of doing. Not all, but some. Before we wrap out our heavy step out of the car segment, I will say an honorable mention goes out to Patrick Mahomes Sr., Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes' father, who we had talked about a lot last season. Arrests, DWIs. He was busted earlier this summer in Texas for driving with a suspended license less than 5 months after he was arrested for DWI. They tried to take away his license. That didn't work. Now they just have to take away his keys.
Get your dad a driver.
Yes.
Pat Mahomes.
You're very wealthy. He needs a driver because
it ain't working.
It ain't working.
Okay, everybody. On a lighter note, it's time for our first new segment of this season.
Yes, and it's one of my favorites ever. We have a lot of matrimony and relationships to catch up on. Get ready for our segment of love. Segment of love.
We're excited to walk through all these different love stories.
Definitely. Here at the Tea Huddle, we love love.
Some new ones, some
thriving,
some surprising ones.
Definitely.
But first we're going to run through some quick hits. First we have Packers quarterback Jordan Love, who got engaged to volleyball player Ronica Stone. Congratulations, you two.
Yes, congrats.
Jags quarterback Trevor Lawrence and his wife are expecting their first baby.
His wife, Marissa. So we are rooting for her because she has a great name.
We'll see if it's a baby boy or a girl.
Yeah.
But congratulations.
Oh, I think it's a baby girl.
That's
they
a girl.
announced. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Lions quarterback Jared Goff got married to Sports Illustrated model Kristen Harper.
Yeah, their wedding looked beautiful. I still can't get a sense of Jared Goff's personality, but I'm sure it's in there somewhere. Go Lions.
Yeah, a very productive off season for all of you.
Speaking of love in the off season, we could obviously not have this segment without talking about my favorite couple of all time, Travis and Taylor. They seem to be going quite strong. He was truly the first man of the Eras tour this off season. He has now been to 12 shows.
He's part of the band.
Literally. I'm going to try to keep it brief because this could be a whole episode. But historically at Taylor Swift concerts, like since she started out, her dad walks around and gives out Taylor Swift guitar picks to people in the stands. And everyone's like, oh my God, Scott Swift gave me a guitar pick. Travis Kelce walks around and gives out guitar picks now. Like he's so in the family. I can't even. But he was actually part of the show. The first show he went to, she wouldn't even see him backstage. He had to call out on his podcast that he wanted to give her his number. And now he's part of the show.
This is 1 year. This is right?
Yeah,
like a little over a year.
So much can happen in a year. Yeah. So at one of the shows during the off season, Travis was part of the dancer. It was one of the dancers. He came out from under the stage. The crowd went wild. He was in full costume. He was in custom Louboutin shoes. Like there had to be so much forethought in this. Yeah. This is a big man. You don't just find a tuxedo in this size. This has to be custom made. He had choreography. The whole bit that he was in.
He just has like the best personality for that too. He was like, so confident.
And he's used to arenas full of
spotlight
attention. He thrived. It was great. She seemed really happy to have him up there. And I can't wait for her to be back at his games. Are they secretly engaged? Some people think so. I can't wait for...
Yeah, the summer was definitely the Taylor show. And now...
It's time for the Travis show.
Fall's coming and...
It seems like and I know I said I'd make it brief and now I'm on a tangent, but it seems like something that's so great about their relationship is that she's happy to support him while he's being the star and he's happy to support her while she's being the star. It seems like they're both thriving. It seems like there's no jealousy or competition for the spotlight or
just a great respect for each other.
Yeah.
We'll see you in Kansas City, Taylor.
Yes, please. Please come to games. Please wear cute custom outfits and cheer and bring your famous friends and give us content.
Thank you. All right, another, I don't even know if I should call it juicy, but
it's something.
The most surprising off-season love stories. We found out about it, got a little bit of the inside scoop when Gronk spilled the beans on the Tom Brady roast about his coach's new girlfriend. So 72-year-old Bill Belichick went public with his relationship with his 24-year-old girlfriend, Jordan Hudson.
I just threw up in my mouth a little bit.
That's a 48-year age difference.
That's too many years. I mean, like, not to yuck anyone else's yum. Sorry if I'm judgmental. It's not right.
Bill Belichick has 3 children. They're all at least 10 years older than her. I really want to know what they think about this relationship.
And, like, what do they talk about? Like, do they, like, what?
Okay. Well, so they met Jordan Hudson. She's an ex-cheerleader, beauty school graduate. That's kind of her thing.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what they talk about.
They first met in 2021 on an airplane. When Jordan was doing her like philosophy homework and Bill was interested and they started discussing philosophy together.
Oh my God, I hadn't heard this. So they talk about philosophy. That's what they talk about.
Yes, they exchanged numbers back in 2021.
Wow.
And then apparently they've been started dating over a year ago when Belichick was still coaching the Patriots.
Wow, because there were a lot of jokes during the roast about like high school girls and like young women, and now we know why. It's because his girlfriend has only been legally allowed to drink for 2 years.
He seems happier than he ever has been.
That's true.
Even after winning 6 Super Bowls. So, yeah, I mean, they've been pictured a lot since they've gone public at his beach house in Martha's Vineyard in Croatia.
Yes, that's where he's from. I mean, that's where his family is from.
Martha's Vineyard.
Croatia.
Oh, Croatia.
Yeah, I feel like
it makes sense.
I remember that. We talked about when we were giving the full Bill Belichick background story on some episode last season.
Gosh, is she meeting the family?
Maybe. He said that he was friends with another coach because they were both Croatian. Another noteworthy off-season event of love.
The long-awaited
Christian McCaffrey and Olivia Culpo. They're sort of like T Huddle royalty because they're exactly what we're looking for. He's a star NFL player. She's famous off field. She has a history of dating other famous people. She's famous in her own right. They finally got married. They had a big fancy wedding in Rhode Island. There was a lot of controversy about her wedding looks. She had like an exclusive deal with Vogue Weddings to reveal all of her various wedding looks for the first time. Personally, I didn't love them.
It was
I kept
very
that
like
to
traditional,
myself.
I guess, like her wedding dress.
Yes, but the internet really didn't like them, and she got some heat for having a wedding dress that people didn't like, I guess. But the thing that, so I'm sure it has to feel bad for everybody to hate your wedding dress. She took it quite personally. So a TikToker who critiques gowns made a video hating on her dress, basically. Both Olivia and Christian McCaffrey commented on the TikTok that she was evil. First, Olivia commented, "Wow, what an absolutely evil person you are. I hope no one ever tears you apart in this way because it's extremely hurtful." Then Christian McCaffrey commented, "What an evil thing to post online. I hope you can find joy and peace in the world the way my beautiful wife does." Which
evil.
Evil feels extreme. They're allowed to be hurt and offended, but I feel like when you have a Vogue wedding exclusive, you're opening yourself up to critique.
And I feel like
people critiqued.
I know. hate to say it, but like this day and age, like people like to critique everything.
Yeah. And it's not like this TikToker was like, you're disgusting, you're horrible, you should burn. Like, she was like, I don't like your dress. I don't think that's evil. I think it could be hurtful. Hurtful's fine. But like, life's tough. I don't know.
It was still a beautiful wedding.
Yeah. It seemed like they had a great time. Just
don't take it too hard.
The aftermath seemed all a little disproportionate, but
enjoy the post-wedding.
She looked beautiful.
Yeah, she did look beautiful.
You know, she's Miss Universe. Of course she looked beautiful.
Yeah, what surprise.
Is she Miss Universe or she was almost Miss Universe? Yeah, she was Miss Universe.
Slightly lesser profile, Zach Wilson is engaged.
Congrats, Zach. What team? I forget where he went. He used to be our favorite little Jets ice cream boy.
And now he's on the Broncos.
Okay. Which is closer to where he lives. He's from Utah. Yeah. He can spend more time with his family and his new fiance.
His ex-girlfriend is also engaged.
Which I feel like this was the first episode Tea Huddle ever. We talked about the ex-girlfriend. She started dating his former best friend and teammate. And then someone called her a homie hopper.
And then she claimed that Zach slept with his mom's best friend, which is why she moved on to his friend. A little messy.
And now she's engaged to that friend. So she homie hopped her way right into a fiance. So it seems like Zach is happy.
Ex-girlfriend's
happy. Dax Milne, who nobody knows his name other than because he is entangled in this story, but he is a wide receiver for the Raiders. He seems happy. And all's well that ends well. Everyone seems happy. So
good luck to you guys and your fiancés.
Another story that isn't as big in football news because nobody knows who Cody Ford is as a football player, but people do know who he is because his now ex-fiancée, Tiana Robillard, they were dating last season. He's a Bengals player, guard, apparently. She was a TikToker. She got a ton of followers and a ton of attention for like day in the life of a football player's girlfriend type of content. They were really cute together. He proposed in this big romantic proposal. We were all obsessed in it together. Then all of a sudden, like, he wasn't on her socials. She made a TikTok to please, like, I beg you don't embarrass me, motherfucker. Ooh. And everybody was like, what's going on? And then she went on a real publicity tour that he cheated on her. She's been on a bunch of podcasts. She went on Alex Earl's podcast, to NFL girls,
NFL girlfriends.
And basically she said he had cheated on her before and he cheated on her again and she left him in the dust. And he just seems like sort of a pathetic loser. He did a live stream where he admitted to having cheated on her and like watched her interview and commented on it. And it feels like maybe everyone should put the TikTok down for a minute and just
take some time.
So that is a not love story, but our final exciting moment of the segment of love. Will Levis, who is
quarterback for the Titans.
All I remember about him is that he puts mayonnaise in his coffee.
Yeah, he likes mayo.
And
sponsored by.
Now he has a sponsorship deal with Hellmann's. And when he was drafted last year, his girlfriend was beautiful and got a lot of attention. And then maybe she ditched him for Morgan Wallen, allegedly. Well, briefly, he's got a new girl, Victoria F. from Pilot Pete's season of The Bachelor. Any Bachelor fans out there, if there are multiple Victorias, you call them by their last initial. But Victoria Fuller, she was actually on the same season with Hannah Ann, who got married during the off season to Lions running back Jake Funk. So maybe they can link up the Bachelor NFL Nation, NFL. Exactly. The WAG.
Oh, and also the host of The Bachelor is an ex-football player. So maybe that's how they're all meeting. I don't know. I'm thinking.
Who's the new host? I forget after they got rid of.
Jesse Palmer. He played for the Giants and 49ers. So maybe he's making some connections for these Bachelor stars, Bachelorette stars.
I'll take a crossover any day of the week. So the little backstory, Victoria F., she was on The Bachelor. Then she was dating Greg, also from Bachelor Nation, for like a year and a half-ish. They were very public on TikTok, Instagram, all of the above. They broke up earlier this offseason in April. And in July, Will Levis hard launched them on his Insta story, a pic of them hugging. You can't see either of their faces, so it seems like maybe it would be a soft launch. Like, who is that? Get everyone speculating. But he tagged her right there. She reposted it with the caption, "Life update." Then earlier this month, the Titans did a TikTok from training camp, interviewing wives and girlfriends who were at practice for a fun fact about their partner. And there's Victoria talking
really
about
just getting right to business.
Talking about how Will loves blue hydrangeas
and Hellman's mayo.
Yeah. It seems like they don't know each other that well. I don't think this is going to last very long. I think this is going to be a blip on the relationship radar, but maybe not. Maybe they're the real deal.
I'm rooting for them.
Yeah. Get after it, you guys. But we love when an NFL player starts dating somebody that we know from another realm, be it Instagram, reality TV, because they've dated other famous people. It excites me. So welcome to the Tea Huddle, Victoria F. We're thrilled to have you.
Wow, so much has happened this off season. We have time for a quick but hot version of the final goss.
Final goss.
Marissa, what do you have for us?
All right, like you said, so much happened, but my favorite off-season goss has to be that Instagram model / Cirque du Soleil performer. Like, already so good. What more could you want out of goss than a Cirque du Soleil performer?
Those people are incredible.
Yeah.
They're so strong.
This woman, Hayden Hopkins, announced that she was pregnant in April. So what does this have to do with us? What does this have to do with anything? Well, earlier in December, so months earlier, she was seen at one single Raiders game. This would make sense. She lives in Vegas due to the whole Cirque du Soleil of it all. She was sitting next to owner Mark Davis. We know Mark Davis mostly for his terrible haircut. It got picked up in December by outlets like, who is this mystery beautiful blonde sitting next to Mark Davis? People assumed that they were dating. Literally sitting next to each other. No like touching, no connection, whatever. Fast forward 4 months. And she announced that she's pregnant, and the internet runs away that this must be Mark Davis's baby. Like, real outlets online, it almost seemed like it was true because it was just being picked up everywhere.
Yeah, everyone assumed he's got that haircut. He's a catch.
Right. And like, he's never had any children. He's like a billionaire. Like, finally he's settling down. He's having a baby. No, not correct. Not true. They don't know each other. She was invited to the owner's box for one single game 4 months earlier. Like, how that led to he's the father of my baby, we'll never know. But then to debunk the rumors, she announced who the actual father of her child is. And it's a different sportsman. It is Washington Nationals player Joey Gallo. TMZ says that the pregnancy was planned and that the two are together.
Imagine being him and listening to all those stories too.
Yeah. It's just so funny that it ended up being another like well-known person
athlete.
Was the father. So that was like a fun couple days on the internet. We thought it was Mark Davis. Then we thought maybe it was nobody. Why do we care about her or her child? But
so he's single, ladies.
Yeah, Mark Davis is available. So get after it, everybody.
And that wraps up our first episode of season 2 of the Tea Huddle.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We are so excited to be back.
We're here with all the good NFL goss.
Make sure you tune in next Thursday.
And every Thursday after that.
Yes. And while you're at it, you know, in between now and next Thursday, find us on Instagram at the Tea Huddle. Find us on Twitter, TikTok. Tell your friends. Like, subscribe.
We'll be sharing all kinds of content we find in the meantime before next week. But until then, stay juicy.